Namaste, everyone. I welcome all of you on behalf of Aurobharati at Pondicherry and Sri Aurobindo Integral Life Center at Auro University. Today, let me start this session with quotation of Mother, because we are slightly, going towards music. So it's very important that the shift, I need to start with the quote of Mother. Mother says, art is nothing less in its fundamental truth than the aspect of beauty of the divine manifestation. Perhaps looking from this standpoint, there will be found very few true artists, but still there are some, and these can very well be considered as yogis. For like a yogi, an artist goes into deep contemplation to await and receive his inspiration. To create something truly beautiful, he has first to see it within, to realize it as a whole in his inner consciousness. Only when so found, seen, held within, can he execute it outwardly. He creates according to this greater inner vision. This too is a kind of yogic discipline, for by it he enters into intimate communion with inner worlds. A man like Leonardo da Vinci was a yogi and nothing else, and he was, if not the greatest, at least one of the greatest painters. Although his art did not stop at painting alone. Music too is an essential spiritual art and has always been associated with religious feeling, art, and inner life. So when I met Ruma Chakravarty at Ramgarh Arvindo Ashram, I found yogin in her. When she sang Kabir's Pada, Yugana Yugan Hum Yogi, it was not only mesmerized, but her singing transported us in a totally different realm. So I welcome Ruma Chakravarty here at this discourse.
Thank you.
Rumaji, namaste. Rumaji is the founder of Factorize, a company dedicated to Indian music therapy, practice, and training. She is a leadership, executive coaching, and research. She has a working experience over 23 years with reputed companies in the domains of research and analytics, professional coaching, and training. She holds a master degree in biophysics. Ruma is a trained musician from Bhatkhande Vidyapit, Lucknow. She is practicing and researching in Indian music therapy for the past 17 years. She is also an internationally certified practicing leadership executive coach, CBT practitioner, and NLP practitioner. Ruma is author of Music Therapy with an Indian Music Essential and Sources, Volume 1, that was released in 2019. Her second book as a co-author titled Community Perspective on Education, Health, and Livelihoods in Talla Ramgarh, Uttarakhand, which was launched by Sachidanand Joshi, Member Secretary, IGNCA, Delhi, at Sri Aurobindo Ashram in October 2021. So it is our honor and privilege to welcome Ruma Chakravarty. I invite you to start your discourse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Rumaji, before you proceed, can I just take 1 minute to add something? Yes. It was mesmerizing to hear Kiranji describe your background. And before that, reading Mother's quote, referring to Leonardo da Vinci, how he combined science and art. Listening to your background, I mean, I think that comparison was so apt. So I congratulate Kiranji for picking the right passage from the Mother. So I was very delighted by that.
Thank you. Thank you.
The platform is always.
And when Kiran ma'am was reading that Mother's passage, like I was feeling that the whole summary that I'll be discussing today is being given in this particular paragraph itself. So it is beautiful. Okay, thank you, Kiran ma'am, for the introduction. And thank you and the entire team of Sri Aurobindo Integral Life Center, Auro University, and Renaissance Aurobharati, Sri Aurobindo Society Pondicherry for creating this wonderful platform titled Kala Evam Adhyatma, and for giving me an opportunity to, share my thoughts. And thank you to all the participants for joining. And just a disclaimer, just before I start my, talk, I'm a student of Indian music as well as Indian music therapy, and will remain one for the rest of my life. Okay, so as a 4 years old kid in Shillong, I'm born and brought up in Shillong, basically in Meghalaya. So as a 4 years old kid, when my mother took me for the first time to my only guru, Sri Sudip Chakravorty, and requested him to teach me Gan. Gan Shikhano is, like as we call it in Bengali. So I was clueless as to what was coming to me, And then for the next 2 to 3 years or more, he taught me only Saptaswaras in order and in different combinations. So I picked up a topic today, Saptaswaras in us. Okay, little did I know that the whole process of my vocalizing the Saptaswaras is actually a reflection of my inner self, where the swaras are lighting up by themselves. As Matangamuni so profoundly recounts, Swayam yo rajate yasmat tasmadesha swara smrita. One that shines by itself is swara. And with time, I came to know that Saptaswaras brighten us from inside. And that is evident when the simple sounds are gradually polished to become the swaras through Nadupasana. That is the practice mixed with intensity, inner bhava, energy, passion, dedication, intent. And that is when the swara becomes Shruti Madhur. That is pleasing to the ears for others and for self as well. So as it is said, sound that pleases the listeners is called swara. Swara rajayati shrotrichittan sa swara uchyate. Now, it is also said that swaras are the consequences of shruti. Now, whether swaras are the consequences of shruti is debatable as per many scholars, ancient and modern. However, the production process of shruti and swara remain similar. Okay, so I think I did not share my screen, no? Yes. Okay, let me share the screen, then we can. So, when talking about the creation of swaras, swaras are an integral part of Nada Shruti Swara association. Now, our ancient science and the modern science are in consensus that the Srishti, that the Srishti or the creation is from the Pranava Nath, the Om, the Anahat Nath. Swaras too have come from the same source, same Pranavanath, as we did. Okay, so the creation, the swara.
Ruma ji, I think she has logged out.
We lost her, or?
Yeah. Yes. Great.
I see her name there. Or maybe she's logged on from 2 devices.
Yes. Yes. Not unmute yourself, Ruma ji.
I'm extremely sorry. The call was coming from home. I don't know. I thought, yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay, so so where we were discussing the creation of the swaras, right? So as the ancient science and modern science both are in consensus that the srishti or the creation is from the nada, okay, as we are, and also the swaras. Now, Matanga Muni so profoundly says again, nanadena vina gitang, nanadena vina swara, nanadena vina nritya, tasman nadatmakang jagat. That is, there is no geet, no swara, no nritya without nad. And the jagat, the universe itself is nad. And Sarangdeva takes this thought further. What he says is the alphabets, words, sentences, and the activities of life, including the purusharthas, the four purusharthas, as well as the whole universe, the jagat itself, is manifestation of nad, along with swara, geet, nritya. So here we get the essence of a dialogue between Shiva and Parvati when Parvati asked Shiva about how the Jagat was created, how the universe was created. So it's a reflection we get in Sarangdeva's describing of the utpatti of alphabets, words, sentences, swara, nada, and purusharthas all. So they are including everything, every aspect of life with swaras and nadas. So nada is omnipresent. It is there in the Chidakash. It is there in the Hridakash. So within us, nad is heard from Brahma Granthi. When the prana vayu, that is the vital layer na, and the life-giving fire, that is da, it is the embodiment of Shakti or the force, come together. Meaning, nadutpatti happens when da, the fire, acts upon na, the prana vayu. So here we are getting the essence of the Pancha Mahabhutas, okay, the two Mahabhutas of the Pancha Mahabhutas. So how the Nadutpatti happens? It happens with the combination of da and na through the different body parts like navel, heart, throat, head, and palate. And through this Nadutpatti, the creation, the life, breathing, energy, sound, spandan, that is vibration, comes into existence. So after this Nadutpatti, what comes? The Shrutis. Because I told you, right, Nada, Shruti, and Swaras are part of the same system. Okay. Sometimes they are same, sometimes they are not, maybe. So after Nada, we see the Shrutis. So here again, different scholars and like musicologists, some of them who were already the physicians, like Ayurvedic physicians, they talk about how the Shrutis were produced. They say that in the heart there are two upward moving nadis, in which there are 22 nadis attached, and this is a very this is also a reflection of the dialogue between the Shiva and Parvati, and also it is very true from the point of view of Ayurveda. So in the heart, with two upward moving nadis, there are 22 nadis associated, attached. And now when the vayu, the na, is forced upon by the da on the 22 nadis, what happens? 22 shrutis gradually of higher pitch are produced from those interaction between vayu, nada, fire, and the nadis, and the action between the two, and the upward movement between the two. All right. Similarly, there are 22 shrutis each at the throat and also at the head. So here we get the references of saptaks, the three registers. So in the heart, in the throat, and in the head. So mandra, madhya, and tar saptak. And if you look at it, it's a very scientific process. As we know, how energy converts to sound as per the modern science. That conversion of kinetic energy coming from different other energies from the body, like electrical, mechanical, chemical energies, forcing the vocal cords to modulate the air, that is vayu, through the air passage, okay, and producing the swara. So it's a very, very scientific process. And our ancient scholars had given a thorough and accurate narration thousands of years ago. Now, what is unique about the narration of our ancient scholars about the swaras utpatti is, swaras are not produced just like that. When the soul or the self intends to create the swara, atma ichya, only then swaras manifest with the same upward movement that we have just spoken about. And the dhwani, the echo, is heard in the akasha. All right, and this dhwani is called swara. So it is just the swara, the shruti, the nad, if we think about, all are coming from our body itself. They're not coming from outside to inside. They're coming, they are there inside. They're just hidden and they're manifesting with our intention, our intention of the self and the soul, and through the polishing, the practice, the dedication. All right. Now, there are other, discrete details also given. Narada in Sangeet Makaranga further discreetly mentions about the production of Saptaswaras, saying that Nad manifests through the navel, penheart, throat, palate, nose, teeth, and the lips, and gradually produce the 7 swaras: Saraj, Rishava, Gandhara, Madhyama, Panchama, Dhaivata, and Nishad. And then again, Bharata Muni beautifully recounts. I should have spoken about Bharata Muni first, because he was the one who has written all his Natya Shastra comes first among the list. I think contemporary to Naradiya Shiksha of Narada. Anyway, so he beautifully recounts Shaririya Meva Vinayam Swara Sapta Parikirtita. So body like Vina produces all the 7 swaras. He further says, from the body, the Saptaswaras are reproduced in the wooden Veena and also in the Avanadya Vadyas and Ghana Vadyas, other Vadyas, I mean to say. So here also, we see that the swaras are very inherent to the self. So it is the audible sound that we hear. These are just the reproduction of the internal nada, or the manifestation of the internal nada, right? So this is the beautiful, association that we get from the narration of different scholars. Now, if we look at the association of nada, shruti, and swara very closely, simply if we may deduce in simple terms, I mean to say, that there are innumerable nadas in a sapta from sa to sa, all right? But how do we distinguish them? Unless and until we distinguish this nad, we cannot use this in our melody or rag. So from this innumerable nads, the ones which are steady and can be heard distinctively, these are called shrutis. All right. And from these shrutis, the selected one, the shortlisted ones, are taken into rags. And those shortlisted ones are called the swaras. So this is told by Kohala, right? Some say that Kohala is the son of Bharata Muni, because he's being mentioned in many texts in the treatises. So this is how Saptaswaras are produced from inside us, become refined with our intent, our experience, thoughts, passion, energy, prana, and in the process, we too become cleansed, we become brighter. Now, these Saptaswaras are also very much, like us. As we have already seen, they come from within us. So they reflect us already. All right. And they are like us in many other aspects as well. For example, each swara has an identity that would distinguish one from the other, just as we have our own individual identity. For example, each swara is associated with its respective deity, Kalas, Varna, Rishi, Gotra, Rashi, Nakshatra, Dvipa, Rasa, then the meters, the Chandas, and more. Thus, they are characterized in such details that they resemble every inch the reflection of human life as they keep marching with our own identities. Then, further, they have their swarattvas that distinguishes them from other possible syllables. For example, da is not a swara, okay, or la is not a swara, li is not a swara. So there are also the concept of swarattvas. Why only these 7 swaras get the swarattvas? So it is, a lot of scholars have said that swarattvas are, they are like narrated by our previous scientists and all those. And also they give some examples why the 7 swaras have the swarattha that the other syllables do not have. So one of this is the sound of the Saptaswaras, which are associated with those of the sound of the animals, birds, as Shiva again narrates to Parvati. It is mentioned in a book called Kohalam. So, for example, the sound of peacock is associated with Sa, sound of Chataka is associated with Re, and so on. It goes on, right? So these have also, evolved with time, with the scholars, analysis and narration as the time evolved, as the music evolved. Okay, so this association puts emphasis on seamless merging of the expressions of nature, living beings, seasons, etc., through very inclusive living systems in those days. So this is a beautiful, association. So we can understand why music is not a separate, or no other Indic studies were not a part of not a separate system. They were part of a larger ecosystem. So music was part of the larger ecosystem because the other scholars, the ancient scholars, always thought about inclusiveness. All right, and today only we fragment our knowledge between different subjects. Otherwise, we are only a single person, so we cannot fragment ourselves between different subjects, right? So that is the concept I think they understood right in the beginning, since the evolution. Okay. Now, if we just talk about the references of Saptaswaras, then we get that in Samaveda. All of us know that the swaras are sung since the Vedic times by the yagniks, and thus those were called the Sarva Vedic swaras. So from 1 swara, 2 swara, 3 swaras, rendering of Vedic mantras, came the 7 Samaswaras or Vedic swaras. Then Narada, I'm talking about Narada of Narada Shiksha, mapped those Vedic swaras with the Laukik swaras or the Venu swaras. What we are discussing today about the Saptaswaras is the present day Saptaswaras that have come to us through various texts and through evolved music. Okay. Now, being a student of Indian music therapy, I would like to share an example regarding the therapeutic aspect of Saptaswara. So here a brief mention of Swara Rasa Bhava association is important. I will not get into the details of it, as I understand it is a very frequently and well discussed topic. So I'll just refer that. So now Swara Rasa Bhava association is very, very important, since the desired production of Swara and have the effect felt in self or by others will be fruitful through the steady and important relationship of Swara, Rasa and Bhava. Now, for example, if I consider myself to be the producer of the Swaras and also the recipient of the effect of those, unless the Swaras are produced with right intent, Bhava, and the refined manner that we spoke about, those will not resonate with myself nor evoke any rasa as a recipient, and the same is true for others as well. Therefore, it is very important for the targeted music therapy intervention to be able to evoke or induce the rasa, even to have a connect of the intervention with the patient or the client, and also for emotional balance that directly affects the psychology, perception, cognition, etc. Right? So this is one. And secondly, I wanted to take one very interesting example of Narada of Naradiya Shiksha, okay, where Narada recounts that the Saman singers actually would touch different body parts while singing the Samaswara. Okay, so as you can see in the screen, so they will touch, say, middle of the head while singing knee. So in the parenthesis is the current swaras, and the like other ones are the samaswaras. It's just a mapping, and this also, this also has evolved. Many different thought processes gone into mapping those. So I'm taking one from the Narada of Naradiya Shiksha as per my analysis. Okay, as per I thought is it is going with the thought of what Narada wanted to say. So here I'm not talking about right or wrong, because things have evolved. So now, coming back to the point, so Narada says while singing the Sama Swaras, the Saman singers would touch different body parts. Like with Ma, they will touch forehead. With Ga, while singing Ga, they will touch the middle of the eyebrow, then ear, throat, chest, and heart. So what does it mean? Is it that like the specific sound energy and the vibration from the swaras would activate the energy pathways between the said body parts, as I mentioned there, and the brain, and improve the passage of information through different sensory organs? So it is very much possible. Today, if we look at the chakra energizing with music, the Saptaswaras, this map actually resembles a lot. Of course, the swara and the body part associations may differ, but this is something that resembles the process that we are following today. Another interesting thing is Narada only, the Naradiya Shiksha, mentions that how Saman singers would touch or rub fingers while singing the respective Samaswara. Like this, they will be rubbing or touching the fingers. So if we just connect it to our modern science, as we know that our fingers have nerves, okay, and the fingertips have got a lot of nerve endings, and these nerve endings also have the receptors that respond to the referential stimuli. And what they do, they respond to the stimuli and send signal as information to the brain and the central nervous system, of course, for further processing. So hence activating these fingertips or other points in the palm and hands directly affect the brain function and boost the healing possibilities in various body parts through sound energy from the respective swara. So there, I just wanted to share with you that there is a research that was done by John Hopkins Krieger Brain Institute. So they designed one simple exercise. It's called repetitive fingertip tracing exercise. So they would use braille-like objects, okay? So with the raised dots, and where the pictures or different scenarios or different aspects of life will be mentioned, and they will tell the patient, mostly dementia patients and all, they will tell them to connect the dots or move around the beautiful pictures, move around the fingers to beautiful picture, the pictures or scenarios. So what is happening in this process? The tips and the hands, through whatever they are rubbing the dots, these areas are getting activated, okay? And the result was they found the memory was increased, cognitive abilities were improved, anxiety, depression, and stress was released. So this is so much similar to what Saman singers used to do while singing the Samaswaras. They're rubbing and touching and activating different fingertips. Means they knew what they were doing and how this how this can help in activating the different signaling pathways from the body parts to the brain through the vibration of musical energy. All right. And maybe also that creates a resonance in those parts. All right. So, of course, a lot of research is required in this case to claim that they've thought about it, but we get this lot of cues of music therapy, the like therapeutic musical aspects, components, and techniques from our ancient texts. This is just one that I have shared with you. All right. And maybe that is the reason why we do not have anything called Sangit Chikitsa, or if it was there, it is not there, because Sangeet was part of a healing modality. It is part of our life, everyday life. So maybe that is the reason they did not use a specific or separate Sangeet Chikitsa, because it was already a therapeutic tool as a whole, or modality, we can say. All right. So now if we come to Saptaswaras and livingness, so we see that, Saptaswaras echo and connect to diverse dimensions of our lives, and this includes normal living, health, spirituality, and more, since the Vedic time and maybe before that. So it is beautifully said, through Nadupasana, we revere Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, since they are one with the Nad. And they are omnipresent, as swaras are eternal and omnipresent. Like them, swaras are one and also many. In the undivided form, it is actually mentioned in Brihadeshi, by Matanga Muni, where Kohla says that in the undivided form, swara is only one, that is Sharaj. And by the forced upward motion of Vayu and that fire and moving upward into different higher pitches, the Sharaj divides into other swaras, which are of higher pitch than Sa or Sharaj. So this means in the many we see the one, and in one we find many. The quintessential Advait concept of Saptaswara, that again mirror our essential reality or existential reality. Okay. And then finally what happens is the swaras, after moving through different body parts, as we had discussed, through navel up to the the forehead and beyond head. So what do they do? After moving through the different body part, they reach up to the top of the head and then spreads beyond and march with the cosmic nada. That is para. Muchito dvanira murghna sarollasa vyapaka para. Okay. So it's like going back to different, it's like going back to where they had come from. Okay. So it's going back to the home. All right. Similarly, Nadupasana through the Saptaswaras enables us to transcend beyond the boundaries of the body's energy fields and march with those of the cosmic energy. And then at that point in time, we do not require any audible sound. The internal nad, shruti, swara, and prana will all be the one with the pranavanad. And thus, both the Saptaswaras and us will be one with the Creator, and we will be in yoga. Thank you so much.
Ruma ji, I don't have words to, express my, feelings. It's adbhut. and in real, because you belong to music, I'll say I give you sadhuvad. It's so excellent, I never knew the system behind the swara. It's amazing to know, and the way you explain, so clear. Thank you so much. Beluji, if you want to talk something, otherwise I will do some request to Ruma ji. She sings, it's amazing singing.
Yeah, no, we would definitely would like to take advantage of Rumaji's presence here and experience what she was just describing through PowerPoint with her demonstration, if she can. I just wanted to add that I'm very intrigued by, the mapping that you were able to show us in terms of the origin of the swaras through various body parts. So, sa arising from throat and that slide, I don't know which number was it, but it was very
You want to see that?
Yeah, if you could just kind of also just like give a little.
Let me share it. I just closed it. I'm sorry. 1 second.
So it's all right. It's all right. You know that already. So if you can just
1 minute.
demonstrate through your, through your performance, it will make it more clear for the late.
Okay. All right.
So. I think it had that blue where you were.
I'm just opening it. I actually closed it. Sharing it again. Yeah. Now can you see this?
Yeah. I think it was number 6 or 7 where you
this
had.
One?
This one exactly.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to see that the mapping and the correspondence.
So first of all,
demonstrating.
First of all, I'm also curious. The sa swara. In the Samvedic time, it was called Chaturtha. So it's very interesting that it is not the Prathama, it is Chaturtha. I don't know if you can elaborate on that. And that
actually
it corresponds with the throat. So if you can just elaborate on this point, why it is not
actually, lot of illustration is not given by Narada, but what he says is, the order in which the Samaveda swaras, Saptaswaras were sung were different. So this is what he says. And then he goes on, describing where sa comes from and how, where re comes from, where ga comes from and all those. All right. But here, this is not the exact mapping of what he says in his narration of where sa originates from. But he says Saman singers, while singing the swaras, they touch this part. This is what he says. But if you look at the narration of different other, I think in Brihatishi only, either in Brihatishi or in Sangit Makaranda, they say that sa originates from the neck. So this region only. All right. So there are some correspondence, but with the evolved music, if you look at it, this correspondence has changed until we come to, Sangit Ratnakar. This correspondence has changed.
I see.
And secondly, when I was explaining, I told you the swaras, that the way I have, mapped this. So many scholars have also mapped it little differently. So there is also little bit of doubt because clearly it is not mentioned in any of the treatises. And if this was mentioned, we do not have access to this because we have lost so much.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the reason. All right.
Yeah. And I think I correct me if I'm totally wrong on this, but my understanding is because of the the way I was listening to you also, it made it more convincing to me, because everything is attributed to that one divine supreme source. So correct. Even the faith with which we approach it, even without the externalizing of that this is healing, this is therapeutic, that healing was happening naturally because of the faith that had gone into the very source of it, that it's all coming from that pranavanath, that
pranavanath, yes,
right, that we are through this practice approaching that. So that in itself can be a very therapeutic process, because as I was listening to you, I was also thinking, okay, there in the Samvedic time there is there was a certain way a mantra is supposed to be recited. And now in Sri Aurobindo, we have Savitri given to us as the ultimate mantra, which is written in a blank verse. So there is no chandas as such, except that there is a mantric force, mantric chanda that Sri Aurobindo's own yoga has put into it, which when we read it aloud, as we would to read a blank verse, not any of the Vedic chandas, yet it has that mantric, it has that therapeutic effect. So because it is the force that has gone into it and the faith with which we approach that poetry, that mantra. So I mean,
Exactly.
that part was very interesting for me to, just as you were saying, that understanding that was arising in me. So I really want to thank you for facilitating that through your presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as I presented, as I was connecting also to the to all the other people who are, in this, like who have joined the discourse. The energy was coming through. I was feeling that energy was coming through. And as I say that all the swaras has come from the Pranavanada, as we did, all right. And then again, the swara, Shadaja was the only swara, if we think of the, the Advait concept. And then Shadaja has been divided into others through that, kinetic energy movement, etc. Whatever be the scientific reason behind it. So they have divided into those. So now again, once the swaras are being purified, they again go back to their own creator, much there. So it's just like our own self. So why I'm bringing this back is because whether we are touching different body parts with the audible swaras is actually healing us only that part is not so, maybe. It is healing the entire system, entire pathway. It is clearing the pathway and so that we can reach up to that one, that nad.
Yeah.
Right? And from that, as I say, at that point in time, we really do not require any nad, any shruti, any swara. No audible sound is required. That sukshma, ati sukshma nad is becoming like moving through the body, and it is merging with the self. It is just doing its own work by itself. No instrument required. No other thing is required.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I agree with Beluji one thing, that even Mother talks about that in the same text which I read in the beginning. At the end, she says, mushroom art is there, mushrooming art. When she talks about even opera, she said, okay, it is technique, but it does not mean that it does not connect with inner self. She said, but it is, intent should be the how it used, or it should what is the deeper meaning behind it is using.
The prayoga.
Yes. So I totally agree with Beluji what she right now mentioned about it. That what is the purpose? What is the deeper connect?
Yes, deeper connect.
Yeah.
Correct. So when we talk about these swaras and like when we talk about the audible swara, because here we are talking about, if we are talking about the therapy, we require this audible swara, right? But otherwise, swaras are omnipresent. They are there inside us. So whether it is coming through the poetry, whether it is coming through the prose, through music, through any other art form, or through normal work, that becomes immaterial at one point in time.
Yeah, you mentioned about nature, how it's all mixed up in nature.
Mixed up in nature, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, beautiful.
Great. So any comments? Yeah, I am reading one comment here, meeting chat. I think Samantha ji is writing, but she is continuously writing. So I'll read from Sa is originated from Om sound, described as God of letter in Bhagavad Gita. And then she is writing, there are different healing modalities such as Reiki, Theta healing, naturopathy, sound healing, etc. But most popular is music therapy. And then she is again writing, I'm energy treatment practitioner at professional level. So it can be used as alternative of acupressure of acupuncture, which also uses different energy points of our body. Thank you, Samantha ji, for sharing this. Thank you. So I don't know, is it if you are Ruma ji, if you are ready, I would request you. It's my humble, request. If you feel comfortable, we can listen to you if we get opportunity.
Okay. Yes, I'll just a moment. Let me stop sharing this. No?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So you want to hear that Yogana?
Whatever you like. Though I like that, Yugana, it's my, I love that. But whatever you like.
No, it's okay. I'll say that. Just 2 or 3 lines, maybe. Give me one moment.
Fine, this one.
Yugana hum yogi, yogi, yogi. Yugana hum yogi, yogi. आवे ना जावे, आवे ना जावे, मिटना कबहू शपथ, अनाहत भोगी अब धूता, युगाना हम योगी, योगी, योगी. Yugana हम योगी, योगी. हम ही सिद्ध समाधि हम है, हम मौनी, हम बोले 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 बोले. हम ही सिद्ध समाधि हम है, हम मौनी, हम बोले 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 बोले. रूप स्वरूप रूप स्वरूप आरूप दिखा के हम तो खेले अब धूता, युगाना हम योगी, योगी, योगी. युगाना हम योगी, योगी. कहेगा विराज सुनो भई साधो, सुनो भई साधो, नाही कोई इच्छा 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 इच्छा, अपनी मति में, अपनी मति में, आप में डोलू डोलू, खेलो सहजा स्वेच्छा अब धूता, युगाना हम योगी, योगी, योगी. युगाना हम योगी, योगी, योगी. युगाना हम योगी, 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 योगी.
Amazing. Normally, whenever I heard Kumar Gandhar, it's a very different experience. But Rumaji, you trust me. Whenever I heard you, I still cannot forget. Though it does not mean Kumar Gandhar goes away. Both of you are
God,
here.
is God.
Amazing, amazing. Today's experience is very amazing. Thank you for making it so mesmerized, rather, and plus you brought that understanding. How you elaborated about Swara. I'm really thankful. Please accept gratitude.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah,
I should thank you, thank you, and Veluji for
Thank you.
bringing
Thank
this
you so much.
concept. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Veluji and Kiran
We,
ma'am.
thank you, and we'll be, I'm sure, in touch with you again when we decide on the next phase of this project.
Yeah.
So we'll be able
Sure.
to do again.
I'll be happy. Happy to
Collaborate.
collaborate. Yeah.
And I'm thankful to all the participants here. They have joined. Today, maybe, there are number less, but we will put it in our YouTube channel also after editing and some, finishing touch. So people will be able to see this talk, because I saw some message that is it recorded? Yes, we do record all the videos, all the discourses here. And then we put in, say, Oro University YouTube. So you will be able to see that. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.